Right. Okay. I think we're live. Good evening if you're in the UK, or good morning if you're somewhere else, Australia. Good afternoon if you're in America. Yeah, so I'm just doing a little random live stream. Just because I figured that it's a good time to kind of like connect with you guys. I think a lot of us are probably in a very similar boat at the moment where we can't go out. And as well with like a new channel, I thought it would be good to have a chat, just have a catch up, just be like, hey guys, let's get a group of people together because we have a community here. Let's start talking. Let's start making new friends. I don't know. So I figured just comment me something. Just hit me up with a question. Let's start talking. Let's get some kind of conversation going in the little, you know what, I've been in isolation so long, I can't even speak English anymore. I'm going absolutely balmy. There's a little dialogue-y box thing. Type something. Say hi. You know, it'd be lovely to hear from you guys. We're just having a chat. We're not doing anything crazy. We're not doing a yoga tonight. We're not doing a workout. We're just keeping it cool, keeping it chill. So let me know how you're getting on, excuse me, with isolation. If you're in isolation, if you're not there yet, I know in some US states, things I think are pretty much normal. So I know in Sweden, everything's normal. But let me know. So while we're there, let me, oh, Donald, hi, where am I from? I live in the UK. Whereabouts are you from? Everybody wanna move right up. So yeah, I was saying, what was I saying? I'm going absolutely mad. Oh gosh, this is what happens when you don't read for 3 weeks. So I have been in isolation for 3 weeks. Relingen, what is your name, buddy? Is it Rel? Should I just call you Rel? Mississippi, gosh. How are things in Mississippi, Donald? Do you prefer Don? Let me know. Yeah, I've been in isolation for 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks today. This is the first day of week 4. Oh God, that's depressing, isn't it? David Peters from California. Hi, Chris. Hello, David. Rel. We'll go with Rel. California. Gosh, what's it like in California? I want to know because we have, 13,000 people on this channel that live everywhere. And I would love to know how it's affecting you and what the authorities have done. If you're in lockdown, if you're not, if you're in like a pseudo lockdown, hit me up. Donald says we are under lockdown. We're in lockdown in the UK. We can go out for food shopping. We can go out for like essentials. We can go out for one daily bit of exercise. We can go out for medicine, and we can go out for hospitals. That's it. Marco, greetings from Mexico. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo estás? Ralph, Philadelphia, lockdown 2 with the exception of essentials. Yeah, so we can, like in the UK, we can still go out and do things like the absolute basics, but it's very, 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 very minimal what we can do. Been under stay-at-home rules for almost a month, David, in California. A month. Oh my gosh. Because I know that Disney Paris closed at the same time as Disney Anaheim. It was the same day, and Florida, I believe, closed at the same time, which is really like depressing because for me, Disneyland is just like my home. And the thought that Disney has run out of magic, it just, oh my God, it makes me so emotional. Hablas español, un poquito, solo un poquito. I'm trying to learn a bit more Spanish. I have a few Spanish friends, one of which is from Mexico, but he now lives in Texas. So I'd love to be able to practice my Spanish a bit more. But the problem is I speak Northern Spanish. I speak European Spanish. So I say things like corazón. I don't say corazón. So I know I need to sort of work on that. You can call me DW. Everyone calls you DW. DW. I'll call you DW. DW Bouge. Anyway. Yeah, so it's a bit crazy here in the UK at least. The problem that we're having, I don't know if you guys are having the same issue. Oui, je parle français, oui, pratiquement courant. Pratiquement, c'est difficile de pratiquer le français en Angleterre parce que il n'y a personne qui parle en autre langue, mais j'aime bien de parler français. Je parle beaucoup de langues. J'ai étudié beaucoup de langues. So yeah, the problem we're having in the UK is that you won't expect in that railway. We have a lot of people flouting the rules. There's a lot of people still having gatherings, barbecues. They're seeing their friends and family. You know, they're going to the shops for non-essentials. That's what we're facing. Are you having the same thing? Oh, bless you, El. I think I only understood about half myself, so don't worry. Yeah, we have a lot of people who are like 16 to 22 who are really ignoring the rules. There's a lot of adults, a lot of my friends actually. I'm a bit like, I don't want to be that guy, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, stop going to your friend's house. Whatever, I'm not going to be that guy, but questionable. Ricardo, pleasure to meet you. How are you doing? How are you keeping? Tom, hi Chris, oh my god, your French is lovely. Ah, merci beaucoup. I've been offered work in France. I have been offered French-speaking work in Paris on multiple occasions. I've been interviewed, I've been offered the job on the spot, and I haven't been able to take it every time. Something always came up, either during the interview process or afterwards, that I couldn't end up going. I had to stop myself from hanging out with my sister. She lives down the street. Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough, but it's what we have to do. I'm almost fortunate that my family live really far away, so I don't have that temptation. But it also means that I don't see them on a regular basis. So, you know, I see my family only a couple of times a year. I don't have any family in my entire county, so, you know, they're hours away. I'm lucky I live in a rural area that makes isolation pretty easy. Yeah, I'm in a town that's in a very built-up countryside, so yeah, we're somewhat isolated. We've got, touch wood, we've got relatively low numbers of cases in this area, but we still have to be very careful. Ricardo, Italia! Oh my God, Ricardo, are you okay? It's just seeing what's going on in Italy has been heartbreaking because I love Italy. I'll see you later, Donald, or DW, sorry, see you later, DW. I'll be doing maybe more of these if people want, so good to see you, but have a good day. Ricardo, like, where in Italy are you? Like, are you fine? DW, follow me on Instagram, actually. Find me on Instagram at Christopher Thomas _ that's probably easier. Because, I mean, I adore Italy. Oh my God, a piece of my heart is in the Cinque Terre. Monte Rosso al Mare. Oh my God, like, just heaven as a place. And hello, pasta. I'm your boy. Marco, I know I hate people who are not respecting lockdown and going about their lives as normal, or those think it's a conspiracy. Oh my God, it's all about 5G, isn't it? Girl. Fucking, excuse my French. 5G. It's got nothing to do with 5G. 189 countries have coronavirus, like 5 of them have 5G masts. So, okay, you do the maths. The situation is at its worst. Well, DW, I'll be doing a few more of these, so keep your eye out. Or message me on one of the comments or something. Situation is at its worst in Italy. I think you know. Where are you? I'm in the UK, so we are having some tough times as well. There's no denying that. We've had another 900 deaths in the last 24 hours. We've been having 900 every day for a few days now, and it's getting a bit worrying because everything's closed and people are not taking it seriously, and the deaths are still very high. I mean, almost 1,000 people a day are dying, and People are not taking it seriously still. Over 2,000. Yeah, but that's America. And when you think about it, I'm trying to put a positive spin on this for everyone. America has about 5 times the population of the United Kingdom. You've only got double. You've got twice the amount of deaths. So percentage-wise, you're doing better than we are. But 2,000 is not good. But you have 300 million people. You know, it's kind of to be expected. Oh, you're Sicilian. Sicily. A little more. Yeah. I would imagine because it's an island, isn't it? It looks beautiful. I've never been that far south in Italy. Love to go there. Yeah, so what we're finding is there's a lot of information. This is actually something to take away when you're looking at all the news. There's a lot of news outlets that are using different bits of data to push their own narrative. I don't want to say agenda, but narrative. Some are saying they're talking about numbers in general. So like, oh, America's had 2,000, so they're like at the top of the leaderboard of the graphs and everything. And other times they're using like cases. They're sometimes using death per million. Someone that did an article about Sweden, how their death per million is much higher than Germany and UK and Italy and blah blah blah. And they were saying like, well, they're not in lockdown, so obviously this is the problem. And I'm like, well, Sweden have had a few deaths, but they have a really low population, so their death per mil is going to be very high. Anyway, can you really make an article out of that? I don't know. David, I always have to tell you, I miss your underwear reviews. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like... Shall we talk about that? Shall we go on something a little bit more lighthearted? So, yeah, the underwear reviews. 20,000 deaths. Jesus Christ. Ricardo, just stay safe, please. Just stay safe because, I love Italy. I've spent many holidays out there and I just adore it. So, yeah, underwear reviews. Let's talk about that. So, as you guys may know, I used to do underwear reviews. Yeah, the reason that they first stopped was because I got a new job. So I got this job working in I trained up as a fitness instructor. So I teach group fitness classes. I stopped because I was spending so much time trying to work on my routines and my knowledge and really understand what's going on that I couldn't then devote 10 hours a week on top for YouTube and stuff. I just couldn't do it. And then I fell out of the habit. I'll be honest with you guys, because, I respect you. I felt that the underwear reviews kind of went in a different direction that I was expecting them to. And Scott, hey buddy, how are you doing? They just went in this different direction, and I wasn't expecting to go that way. And content, as you say, does evolve, but I don't think I ever really expected or wanted my channel to be about, like, I felt I was becoming a bit thirst trappy, and I didn't really want that as my identity or as my digital identity. It was sort of like the primary reason I stopped YouTube was because of my job. I just couldn't. I was taking 1 month off. It was just 1 month, and then that became 2, and it became 3 because of my job. I was taking on so much work. If you saw my welcome back video, you'll totally know the story. So I won't go into too much depth because I don't want to bore you. But the crux of it was the first few months, I was intended to come back really quickly and just carry on. But work took over. My studies took over, building my own business took over. And then I sort of fell out of the habit because I was like, I sort of re-looked at my channel. I was like, do I really, like, is this the direction I want to be going in? Like, I enjoy underwear reviews, but I felt like they weren't becoming reviews anymore. They were just like parades. And that wasn't really like the thing that I wanted to put out there. So, 2.5 years later, suddenly it was like, I want to come back to YouTube. I mean, I came up with lists of things to do. Let me show you my list. I have been planning a YouTube comeback for the best part of a year. Like, I have been planning it. If you want to see, here's my notes that I've been building for a year, over a year. Like, it goes on and on and on. All my notes for the return to a channel, what it could look like. Excuse me. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that I want to do, and I thought, okay, let's bring in an element of fitness because that is my job, that is my life. Bring in some style, bring in some philosophy because that's my background, and kind of merge it all together and see kind of what works and let it kind of evolve naturally. But then I've been having doubts about. I am the worst. I doubt myself so much. I get in my head and I'm like, is this the right thing? Because obviously I've changed my name from Chris Says It. I've become something else now, but I'm even now thinking maybe this isn't the right name. I'm tempted, and I would love your input here, guys. Okay, here's a bit of audience participation. I'm tempted to shorten it to Chris Thomas. I'm tempted. I feel like Christopher might be a bit too formal. I thought it would make me stand out. But is it too formal for like an informal channel, And obviously I was doing my Drag Race reviews, as Rel points out. He started following me because of the Drag Race reviews. I miss those. I have to admit I miss those because I get all sassy and, but I wasn't enjoying Drag Race as much as I used to. I felt it was changing and I just wasn't really enjoying it as much. David, got to sign off. Thanks for chatting with us, Chris. Please keep safe and healthy. Same to you, David. Okay, let me know, if you need someone to talk to or whatever, just hit me up. I should be like the mononym. Yeah, just Chris, like share. But, oh, hi, Benjamin. How are you doing? Yeah, Drag Race. I loved doing the Kiki. I loved getting with you guys and talking. And I sacrificed that because of my job. And then as it happened, I think I tried doing it. I think I did a review of All Stars 3, like not week by week, but it's like a one-off at the end. But the thing was, like, from season 9 onwards, I was just like, is that bad? Probably. I just felt it was becoming a bit too overproduced, and I wasn't really happy with the conclusion. I don't necessarily mind a bad storyline, but it has to be wrapped up nicely. See, that's interesting, Rel. That's really interesting that you say All Stars is much better than the original season. I'm the absolute opposite. I cannot stand All Stars. I watch it just out of some sense of obligation. I don't like it. Tom Ladd, what do you think about RuPaul's Drag Race UK? Okay, let's talk. That Drag Race UK was like a breath of fresh air for me. That really reinvigorated my love for Drag Race because it was so pure. It was just brilliant. Like, Tom, are you British? Like, did you get all the jokes if you watched it? In case you were foreign, like if you were abroad. Because the first couple of weeks, people were coming up to me and they're like, oh, Chris, I can't get on with Drag Race UK. And I was like, just stick with it. I'm getting this sort of raw energy from it, which I'm really enjoying. And yeah, Rel, it was like the beginning of the US series. It wasn't overly produced. Ah, Mexico, another Mexicano. Um, so for me, like a lot of the jokes were fantastic. It was really showcasing British drag. The Snatch game, I'm sorry, that is the best Snatch game that's ever been. I was so proud of the girls for that, and I was thinking, should I review it? But I still had way too much. I was doing my personal trainer training, so because I'm a PT now, so hit me up if you want to online train. But it was just really raw and pure and just good, and you could see that Rue was having a great time filming it. You don't see that on the American one. Like only in season 12 have they kind of been like, "Hey, buddy, you should look like you're at least trying to enjoy yourself." One second, I'm going to put the lights on a bit more. Feels a bit dark. Probably has made absolutely no damn difference. The UK version was more about the humour than the stunts of drag for me. Yeah, because the Charlie Hydes was not wrong, and I said this at the time, and I don't think I did a review of season 9, or did I? I think I did. He's not wrong when he said that the British queens don't really do that. They don't tend to dance and do death drops because we don't have tipping culture. You know, our smallest bill is a £5 note, so like $7. Like, you're not going to tip a drag queen that over and over again. You might tip $1 or two. We're not going to throw pound coins at them. So they tend to be, in the UK, the hosts of a night. They tend to be very funny, very quick-witted. It's not even necessarily about the look. It's about the vibe. Like, drag has been in our culture for a long time. You know, we have had people on TV in the 70s and 80s and 90s doing drag, like Edna Everage and Lily Savage, who is so funny. And I was shocked that Paul O'Grady was not on Drag Race as a judge. Excuse me. So Charlie was completely right. And all the girls were like coming at him for saying it, but he was right. And Drag Race UK has proved that he was right. And so it's a totally different kind of atmosphere. The lip syncs, yeah, were a bit meh, but the content of the show was so good that you just don't really care. Marco, I will get back to your point a little bit later if you don't mind. Let me know how long you've got, because I'd love to address that, but I don't want to sidetrack too much from Drag Race at the moment, but I will come back to you about Stiffs a Table. Basically, yes, you can do them, as long as you've not got underlying problems. But let me know and we'll talk. But in theory, as long as you're okay, my things are okay. I teach to 80-year-olds, so the same stuff. So you're probably okay. But always go at your own pace. So yeah, Drag Race in America, it's like the conclusions were always a bit... I feel like at the end of a series, you should have a sense of completion. You know, like, okay, that chapter is closed and I feel like I've got closure. And from season 9 onwards, I just never really felt like I got it. You know, I love Sasha Velour, but I didn't think she should have won. Season 10, yeah, Aquaria should have won. But the finale was a bit of a womp womp. I mean, you know, Asia's butterflies and then having a double Shantae, so it was 3 people in the finale. What's the point? Like, what is the point? Are you going to have a knockout round or not? Season 11, oh, Evie. Great performer, shouldn't have won. And then season 12, I mean, the less said about that, the better. Just because Cherie. But I don't like this lip sync for the crown. I don't really like it. It means that mediocre can win. You know, imagine if this had been done in season 6 and the top 4. Do you honestly think that Bianca Del Rio would have beaten any of them? No. Darian Lake would have won season 6. There ain't no way that anyone else is winning that other than Darian Lake. the whole live finale thing was doomed from the beginning. I think it forces it to try and be over dramatic. Yeah, not to mention ignoring every challenge throughout the show. That is the tea. Where's my tea? That is the tea, and that's what I've said all along. It ignores the competition. Now, I understand if they had been really explicit and said, look, all of this comes down to the final. Like, you know, we wipe the slate clean. The competition is to get you to the live final, and then it's up to you to impress us from that point. But they don't say that. They're like, oh yeah, you know, it's kind of part and parcel of the competition. If it was like two separate things, the competition gets you to the final, and then it's the lip sync for your life thing. But it just doesn't. It feels like it's part of, because of the history of the show. It feels like it's part of it, and that I feel the challenges should be involved in the decision making, and that's why I had such a problem with Evie winning. I am a huge Evie fan. I was really standing her throughout the show, but I also loved Brooklyn and I loved Nina West, and oh my god, Sugar Cane is like my baby. But when you got to that final, the final two, to have Brooklyn and Evie going up against each other, and quite frankly, I think they both did a good job. You know, I think they did a very acceptable job. Brooklyn had like 3 or 4 wins or something. It was a lot. Evie had half a win. That was it. She jointly won episode 2 with Scarlet Envy, I think it was. That was it. That was literally it. And after what, 10 weeks, you win, having had a half win. That's all you had. The entire way through, you had a half win. I don't want to detract from Evie's win. She's a very deserving queen. She's a very talented queen, but the competition, I feel, is like a competition. Like, you wouldn't hand someone an Olympic gold for doing, like, let's take the decathlon, 10 events. You wouldn't hand the medal to someone who consistently didn't come first. I mean, but that's the issue, Rel. They've obviously done these live finals for a bit of drama, but also to ensure that they basically always choose the right winner, because the Tyra backlash was pretty big from what I've been told of season 2. Season 3, there was a lot of people that wanted Manila, but they went with Raja, and you know, they were, to be honest, that should have been a double crown, if ever there was one. And then from that point on, they've always kind of gone with the queen that's like kind of popular at the time, which is why I was a bit worried in season 6, because I thought they would give it to Adore instead of Bianca. And that's why I thought in season 5 they would give it to Alaska instead of Jinx, but they both still had enough popularity in their own right. I do still believe that they wanted Alaska to win, because it would have been this like Sharon Alaska thing. Yeah, Ben, I agree about Bake Off. You know, there's like, when it got to season 9 and they're like, okay, you know, they've obviously had a couple of years where people weren't impressed with the result, like Violet, despite the fact I still think Violet should have won. She's very deserving. She's been fantastic. It got to the live finals and Sasha Velour winning against Shay and Trinity. That rose wig thing will go down in history as one of the most epic things. But is that enough to have been crowned the next drag superstar after an entire season of competition in which she was mediocre? I don't think it is. I don't think it's, no. And Rel, what do we feel about the double crowning? Okay. I have one of these pegboards that you can put your own message on. And I bought it before All Stars 4. I didn't know what to put on it. Then I saw the finale of All Stars 4. And this is what I put on it. And I put this up the day All Stars 4 went up. The finale, the day I found out about the Double Crown. Let me get it for you. This has an expletive in it, so if you don't want to see a rude word, look away now. This is what I put up. If it's back to front, I'm sorry, I'll have to work it out. But yeah, that has been on my wall since All Stars 4, and I don't agree with the Double Crown at all. I think it was a cop-out. I think it was a major cop-out. I think it was a knee-jerk reaction to a very small minority of people who were complaining that the Hall of Fame was too white, I think. You know, whether that was their reason or not, I don't know, but that's kind of how it felt because of the poor editing. And again, this goes back to my point about having a sense of completion. The result of All Stars 4 was rushed. They didn't film a double crowning. They filmed the two separate ones as they always do, and then they smashed them together. They didn't explain it very clearly what had gone on, why it was happening. It just seemed a bit pointless to have, like, with the big finale shows where there's 4 people lip syncing for the crown and stuff, and it's supposed to add drama, and then suddenly they're not knocked out, and you've got 3 people vying off, and whether the Double Crown was because of this small grassroots movement, I don't know. And I don't want to reduce Trinity and Monet's win to a playing the race card kind of argument, because I think that's a bit vapid. But because it was so poorly handled from the production end, I feel, it just then raises questions as to why they did it, because clearly they weren't expecting to do a double crown. They just weren't. We know they've done a double crown in the past. Bianca and Adore were double crowned. But they didn't do it. I'm pretty sure they weren't expecting. So why did they do it? There has to be a reason that it was so rushed. And the fact that they've pushed back All Stars 5. They've really pushed it back. Because All Stars 3 and 4 were like months apart. Now it's been like over a year, I think, since All Stars 4. So, and they filmed that ages ago. I think they filmed season 12 and Drag Race UK, and both have aired since All Stars 5 has been filmed, if I recall correctly, maybe. What's the point in having all that build up and then just being like, oh yeah, you both win? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And again, there was no sense of completion. There were still 2 people standing, you know. And Manila shouldn't have been kicked off. Manila was robbed again. Dark King, where are you from? I'm from the UK. Where are you from? Handel, thank you very much. I mean, I think Drag Race has become this thing of just like showcasing your talent, because we know that I still want to believe in the idea of the competition of it. I still want to believe in it, but as time goes on, I don't think it is about the competition. But then why pretend it is? Rel, you love that Naomi did that? No. That's always been my biggest issue with All Stars since season 2. And the one season 1, because season 1 you don't talk about, but the fact they were put together, pointless. But season 2 onwards, I said at the time, and I've said it consistently ever since then, the All Stars 2 format rewards mediocrity. It rewards the bad player that happens to do well. You know, Naomi was not a strong contender in season 4. She was not at the bottom, but she wasn't at the top. She was flatlining. She got a little break. She got a chance, and she kicked off her biggest competition. Like, you know, they kicked off Valentina. She was strong competition. They kicked off Manila. They kicked off Latrice, who, you know, she was a fierce competitor. Okay, she was not doing great, but she was a fierce competitor. I would rather see a queen doing well to do well. You know, these queens spend a lot of money on this show. Imagine if Trinity had fallen into the bottom 2. Just say something happened, like Farah fell. Let's say Trinity accidentally fell, and they put her in the bottom for it, and someone kicked her off, and she spent She said she spent £100,000 or $100,000 on preparing for All Stars 4, and she didn't get a chance to save herself. No. I get that they were trying to make it like Survivor or Big Brother. The thing is with that, those are much longer. They are longer running, and it is more about the strategy. Now, in the UK, Big Brother is not about that. It's not about subversion. It's not about, you know, strategy. Like, we don't run Survivor anymore. It's not been airing for years and years and years. Big Brother stopped airing, and it was never about factions and allies and that kind of thing. It's just been like a reality show, like watching people go about their life. I know that in America and Canada looks really interesting, the way that they kind of, you know, tactically vote and stuff. That's very interesting, but, you know, there's the way to play the game. And I guess that Drag Race are trying to like take elements of that. But the fact is, in Big Brother, you have a lot longer to form those alliances and to make it much more interesting. And at the end of the day, they are normal people, just normal people. There's no challenge to see what, you know, who's the best singer, who's the best dancer. Drag Race is very different. And the fact that, you know, these queens have to come along with a set of equipment and a set of skills, you know, and they spend a lot of money, especially All Stars. They've spent a lot of money. And to then be like kicked off because they were competition, like because this person has put a lot of time and effort into their looks and money and effort and everything, and to just be kicked off for no good reason. Like Manila's outfit, I don't believe was the worst. I don't believe Manila should have been in the bottom 2, but we all know that people land in the bottom 2 awkwardly, you know, Rock'em Sakura. But to then be kicked off without a real good chance of having to, like, you can say all you want, but if that person wants to get rid of you, they can get rid of you. I don't like that. I just don't like it. I would rather see a fair competition, and I don't think it's fair because I don't think Naomi kicking Manila off was drama. I felt, maybe it's because it's a cultural difference. We don't have that kind of we don't have TV like that in the UK. We're not used to it. So for me, I would rather see a fair competition. I would rather see the queens showcase their skills. And, you know, Jasmine is very funny and she didn't prepare a comedy sketch. She improv. Yeah, it fell flat. You deserve to go home for that. But Manila creating what I thought was a really good concept and really beautiful outfits to land in the bottom 2 just because they thought it was a bit plain for her, and then be kicked off by someone mediocre. No. Like, there's no... I just don't... I know that they win by getting their exposure on the show, but the thing is, some of them are not getting the exposure because they are not having time to showcase what they are all about. You know, Ginger Minge got kind of done over like that. She was looking for some kind of redemption arc. Look at Roxy Andrews. She was hanging around for how long? And she, you know, at the cost of Tatiana. Tatiana needed that exposure. She got 2 episodes, 3. Like, you know, yeah, she's well beloved, but she's loved because everyone thinks she was robbed. I would have loved to have seen more from Tatiana because she was a favourite of mine, actually, from season 2. Ben, it's fun to hear you talking about Drag Race again, yeah. I missed it. Hi, Charles. Tom asked, what do you think about Charlie's journey in season 9? She was misunderstood as far as I'm concerned. Very misunderstood. I thought she was a very good competitor. She was very funny, very witty. I would have loved to have seen her on Snatch Game because her impressions are phenomenal. Her Joan Rivers, I think she was going to do Joan Rivers for Snatch Game. Her share is very, 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 very good as well. Rel, maybe the Rob Queens get the most love from the fans in the end, yes. But ultimately, you join to get the crown and the title of America's Next Drag Superstar. If you accept the fact that robbed queens get more love from the fans, then you also kind of have to accept that the title of Next Drag Superstar is a bit redundant. So then why even bother having it? Charlie, though, let's go back to Charlie. The lip sync was awful, no denying that. But the only reason Charlie was there, let's be serious here, the only reason Charlie was put in the bottom 2 was because she tried to cover the mistakes of her group leaders. So the 2 anchors of that morning show didn't get their cue for the break. So Charlie tried to save their asses by calling a break at the wrong time. And they punished Charlie for that. And I'm like, she was trying to be a team sport. I think she could have been in the bottom 3, but I think she should have been spared the bottom 2, as far as I'm concerned. But I think she was cannon fodder. There's always queens brought in that they know are not going to last. I'm pretty sure they know who they want to win or have it get to the top 4 when they bring them in. And they give them all the opportunities they need. So they probably brought Charlie in to be like, yeah, look, let's showcase someone a bit older with this good talent for making clothes and good wit. But we're not expecting them to do very well because, like, hello, cheerleading challenge. So when it comes to it, I think they're like, okay, it's time for Charlie to go. We need an excuse to get rid of him because we've seen so-and-so Snatch Game and we want them on it, you know. I think there's an element of that about being the oldest. Charles, what do I think of Cherie Pie getting disqualified? Appropriate. She admitted it, which from her point of view, probably a mistake. Maybe there was too much evidence against her and she thought there's no point even trying to deny it. But yeah, she said that she did what she was accused of and it was awful. So she should have been disqualified. It's not a nice situation. It's really tarnished season 12 because season 12 is a strong year. I cannot believe when I looked at the lineup, if someone had said to me that, I never expected Dahlia to go home first. I expected her to be maybe one of the first few out. I didn't think it to be first. But the fact that, we've already lost Britta, Nikki, and Rockham, I'm shocked. This is a strong, strong year. Like, I thought Crystal Method would be out week 1. And she has surprised me. She's so intriguing. I did not, in the Meet the Queens video, I did not rate Gigi. I was like, meh. And I did not rate Cherie. And they have turned it. You can't deny it, despite the fact that Cherie has been disqualified and what she did was horrible. She's turned the party. My God, she has thrown such an opportunity away. She's really thrown it away because I think she could have won. Do you think you would be rooting for her if she hadn't done what she did? 100%, yeah. Yeah, there's no denying. I'm not the biggest fan of camp drag. If it's done well, then I enjoy it. But there's a lot of queens that are like trying to do camp drag and it comes across a little bit awkward. So I like Nina West. That's kind of campy at times. I actually enjoyed some of what Mimi did. I really liked Mimi's Religious Mary thing from the first episode. I thought that was very clever camp drag. It just didn't. Her personality was a bit grating, and what she did with India was not good. I think it's tricky. You know, Lady Bunny is kind of camp drag, and I really enjoy that. But there's a lot that I'm just like. But Cherie has been phenomenal on the season, and I absolutely. You know what? If it's between her and Gigi, if this whole thing hadn't happened, Cherie would be my number one. Yeah, she absolutely would have been my number one because she's different. It's like it's high camp drag done well. She knows her references. She's so funny. You know, her Grey's Anatomy thing where she's the old mother. I was howling. It was so funny. And I think she won that challenge, didn't she? It is a shame that it has gone this way, but it's her own fault. She should not have done what she did. And people have said it's catfishing. I think it's more than catfishing. It's exploitation. You know, it's leading people on for work, and she wanted them to do things for her. And girl, there's an entire internet out there with free videos that you can find that I'm sure would satisfy. You know what I mean? Without going into too much depth. And no, I can't support her. I think I am within my rights to say that she is very talented at her drag race career. She's made me laugh. But that's that. I'm not making any excuses for her. I'm not saying, oh, well, maybe, you know, no. Imagine you were in her shoes, in the victim's shoes. No. So it is what it is. I don't, you know, I'm going to enjoy the performances that she gives, but that's that. Like, there's a lot of people that still buy Chris Brown's music. I don't. You know, it's kind of that. Silver. Was there a comment from someone called Silver? I don't know if I'm getting all the comments. Silver, she got disqualified. Did someone ask if she got disqualified? I don't see a comment. Have I been watching anything else lately? Yes, I have been binge watching The Vicar of Dibley on Netflix because they've just added it. I haven't seen Tiger King yet. What else am I watching? I don't tend to watch that much. I tend to watch the same things on repeat. So I watch a lot. I watch a lot of Archer. I watch a lot of Gavin and Stacey. Ab Fab occasionally. What else have I been watching? There must be something. Let me check my Netflix. I haven't downloaded Disney Plus yet. I've avoided it. Why? I don't know. While I'm checking this, what's my favourite queen of RuPaul's Drag Race UK and why? It's probably between Bagger and the Vivian. I would say Bagger's really funny, but I do like Vivian's wit and the way that she holds herself. There is a slight element of bias because I have met the Vivian years ago. at a magazine launch, and we hung out for the evening. She was there with her assistant, and I don't think she knew anyone else. She had just been, I think she'd just been crowned the UK's drag ambassador, but no one really paid any attention to it. So I think her assistant, the person I was with, got chatting to her or knew her or something, and so we spent like most of the evening together. And then I had to go, unfortunately, which was a real shame. But she was fun. But I think probably the Vivian, I think her wit is really quite funny. Bag is funny, but it's kind of like slapstick funny. Who doesn't love Dawn French? Marcus, hello to Italy from the UK. What is it? What is it in Italian? Not buonasera. Buonanotte? Buonanotte? Hello. Ciao. Ciao bello. Come stai? How are you, Marcus? Like, I hope you're keeping well and safe. We had someone earlier, Riccardo, who was talking about Italy. Buonasera. I hope you're well, because seeing what's happening in Italy is breaking my heart. I love Italy. Love, 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 love Italy. Oh, thank you, Google, sir. Thank you. I do like Davina. I really do. I think she's very funny. And her speech about your faith is a belief, but my existence is a reality. Oh, my God. Oh, I wish I'd said that. That's one of those quotes that I just wish I'd said. I'm well, thank you. Yes, I'm keeping calm and I'm keeping carry on, and I can safely say that I have done 3 weeks of isolation and I have not been bored once. So yeah, this is quite fun. I'm enjoying this. This whole like live chat thing. We should do this more often. We should have a theme every time. This is good fun. I feel like one of those, you know, like in China, they have like the cam girls, what they're called, online goddesses, where they just kind of chat with their friends. They don't really make videos. They just stream for like 8 hours a day. I like that. I like that thought. Maybe not 8 hours. I'd probably go a bit mad looking at myself on a screen the entire time. And I apologize that I'm not looking directly at you, where the camera's there, and I'm looking at me, because I want to make sure that I'm looking at the comments and everything. But they do that. I was watching a documentary about it, and I was like, that sounds really fun, where you just kind of like chat and sing songs and play games. And I like that. It sounds great. You know, have like all these online friends. Love it. Excuse me. Yeah, Davina's great. Loved Bagger. Totally surprised me. And then the Vivian, obviously. I do like a bit of Cheryl Hall though, because, you know, got to represent for the Essex girls. Yeah, I'll try and do this more often. I had this idea yesterday after watching the Cam Girls of China documentary. And it just was like, that sounds fun. Like just chilling and chatting, and you kind of, you know, them you make all these friends, and they're like more like a family kind of thing by the end of it, because you've gotten on so well with them. Cheryl would fit in with US Queen. She would, because she's a dancer. So she would fit in well. She could do those kind of performances, but her drag is drag race drag. It's not British drag. Like, if you've never seen Lily Savage, you need to watch Lily Savage. The funny thing is, Lily Savage is a drag queen who used to present Blankety Blank on TV. Blankety Blank is the American version of The Match Game. So I thought they would get Paul O'Grady, who is the man behind Lily Savage. I thought they would get him in for Snatch Game at least, and I thought they would change the name from Snatch Game to like Blankety Blank something. I was thinking like Wankety Wank, but the Americans wouldn't get that. But yeah, so that whole thing is really ingrained into us. And Lily Savage's Blankety Blank was famous because she didn't care. Like, she genuinely like didn't care about the whole thing. And people always said the outtakes are on YouTube. Everyone said at the time that the real show was watching it live. But what they put on TV was like the family friendly version, because she would swear and she would call people out, and like the whole performance was just that, a performance. But Lily Savage is so funny. So her wit is unparalleled. She could give Bianca Del Rio a run for her money in terms of like off the cuff kind of humor. She's so quick-witted. And it's clever. It's not just insult comedy. It's very clever. My favorite Spice Girl. I always said Sporty Spice because no one ever liked Sporty, and I really liked her voice, but I also really liked Baby Spice. But I've always said that Sporty was my favorite, but I've had a soft spot for Baby because I was their demographic, you know, the preteens. Yeah, I was a preteen in the 90s. The thing is, Sporty Spice was always overlooked because I think she was perceived as like not having the same sex appeal, but her voice was the best. Her voice was absolutely the best, and even her music, Mel C's music, that was done in the late 90s and the early 2000s, still stands the test of time. She's a phenomenal songwriter. She's got a great voice. I believe she's the only singer to have had a #1 in the UK as a solo artist, as a duo, as a trio, a quartet, and a quintet. I believe she's the only one. I can't remember who the trio was. But like Never Be the Same Again. Oh my God, what a tune. They're all good tunes. Have I seen Leslie Jones's stand-up special? No, I have not, Moonshine. I guess I need to watch that. Shit. Oh my God. Side moment. How good was Leslie Jones in season 12? Side note to that, I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising anything. If I was to do the Kiki for season 12, do you think it would be fun? Do you think people would watch it? If. So I could go back to episode 1 and rewatch it. Marcus, how old am I? How old do you think I am? That's the question. I always like to ask how old. So everyone who's in the chat, let me know how old do you think I am, and then I'll tell you. It takes a minute to come through, so I'll just sit here looking, I don't know, middle-aged, older demographic, younger demographic, I don't know. But how old do you think I am? So Marcus says 27. Marco says 28. Does it make a difference with my hair down? Do you want to see my hair down? Have you seen my hair down? 35. Do I look 35? Since you said I was a preteen in the 90s, Ben says 27 or 28. Rel, do you really think I'm 35? Preteen 90s, early 30s, no wait, 32. 12. Look how long this hair is. This is the beauty of having long hair. When you can't go to the barbers because everything's on lockdown, I don't care. Just let it grow. Let the jungle reclaim the land. So we've all taken our guesses. No one got it right. I am 30. I know. Scary. I am a 30. I'm officially the Bridget Jones generation. I feel like I should have had my hair down from the beginning. My hair never gets to go down. I'm going to have to wrap this up real soon because I've been on here for an hour and I need some dinner, but I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying this, so I'll have to do another one. Maybe a few times a week or something, just to have a catch up. That'd be really cool. No, you seem to be younger. Oh, now all the compliments are coming in. Yeah, the thing is, though, I don't feel 30 at all because I've only just gotten like something akin to a career going, which is personal training. Thank you. Nice to be back, Moonshine. Oh, thanks, Tom. You're very kind. Checks in the post. Yeah, I've only sort of just found like the job I want to be doing, and there was that hiccup in the middle of my 20s. If you are a long time subscriber, then you will know what happened in my mid 20s. That meant I sort of fell on the back foot a little bit. 34 is still young, Marcos. Moonshine, I'm in my 30s. It's been awesome. Best yet. Well, that's what I'm very happy to hear that, Moonshine, because I'm kind of hoping that my 30s will be really fun as well. I had a tough 20s, unconventional. Yeah, it was. My 20s were interesting for probably all the wrong reasons. So I want my 30s to be fun. I really do. I want my 30s to be the new 20s. I want to become a YouTube sensation in my 30s. I'm 21 but ready to dive into middle age. Jesus Christ. Oh, to be 21 again. But well, I was 21. I was at uni, so that was tough. That was really tough. A philosophy degree. Oh my god. That was yeah. That's a really tough degree. If you ever meet anyone with a philosophy degree, just be like, oh, well done, you, poor you, and hand them a pack of Nurofen or something, because headaches, my god. Have I gotten into TikTok yet? I made my first TikTok video last night, and it's had a lot of views, and I don't understand TikTok. It's like a generational thing, and I just don't get it. I don't like. I see the appeal for some of it, but some of it is like I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not the demographic that they're aiming for. Oh, you're doing philosophy as well. Please, Nurofen. Yes, thank you. Ben, where are you? Are you UK? Are you US? Where are you? Moonshine. Jobs are better, hopefully. Relationships more solid. Unless you mean like friendship ones, then yeah. Sex hotter, wouldn't know. Oh, friendship stronger. So relationships more solid. I'm assuming you mean romantic ones. Take me off the market. And then sex hotter. Maybe we should talk about that in the next episode of live streaming with Chris. Girl. Southwest England. I always have to think west and east. I can do north and south, but west and east I always get confused for some unknown reason. Southwest England, fabulous. So philosophy, wow. Yeah, my heart goes out to you. Yeah, that's a tough one. Here's an interesting thing. I did a philosophy degree, having never studied philosophy. I didn't do it at A level. I didn't do religious education at A level, which often has an element of philosophy. I didn't even do it at GCSE. So I walked in completely blind. My friend who had done it at A level, we were doing, oh God, it's just 10 years ago now. We were doing some lecture we had about something. And she turned to me afterwards and said, Chris, I know that you you know, you don't have a background in this, so you won't know the speed at which we're going. But she said that what we covered in a 1 hour long lecture, she spent at A level, it took them an entire term to cover. So what we did in an hour, they spent a term on the year before. So she said, that's the speed we're going at. It was like doing, because oh my God, I had like no contact time. I don't know how much contact time you have. My longest week in the 3 years at uni was 7 hours. It was 3 lectures, 4 seminars. So I was doing, in lectures term, I was doing a year's worth of A level every week for 3 years, every week. My God, that was hard. It's really hard. And especially with somebody who had no background in it. And I was working. And I was living alone. Which actually probably made it easier. I didn't have to deal with drama. You know what? I'm still full from last night's dinner. Isn't that ridiculous? Oh, dearie me. So, yeah. Philosophy's tough, guys. It's great fun, and I don't regret doing it for a minute. But wow. Yes, it's been pretty stressful, but I've got very good at throwing the stuff I know into everything. Very good. The only other thing you have to be very careful of, I'll be damned if I can't make Descartes relevant. You can always make Descartes relevant. You can always make him relevant. You know. Cogito ergo sum. Je pense donc je suis. The issue that you have to be very careful. Oh, thank you. Happy Easter to you too, Moonshine. The thing you have to be careful of with the philosophy degree, you probably noticed this already. The way that you talk about philosophy is like when you debate, when you are in your philosophy lecture and your seminar, you talk with your friends, the way that you talk changes, and you have to remember that when you then talk to your friends who don't do philosophy, or your family or colleagues at work, you have to then change the words you use, the way that you speak, because they don't understand. They find, from my experience, they find it very off-putting and very confrontational when you start asking them very deep questions that you think are very normal, you know, that are fine, that are just normal questions. And they find them to be quite intrusive or aggressive. You just have to be very careful of that. I've had plenty of arguments with people who thought I was being really aggressive, and I was like, I'm just asking you a question. So I had to change my tone, and I had to change what I said and my approach, really. Excuse me. Took computer science myself, but I did feel for my friends who took philosophy. Philosophy is tough because there's no answers. Like computer science, you'd be like, oh, how do I turn this computer on? You press this button. Oh, there's the answer. There are no answers in philosophy, but there's a lot of damn questions. You know, you have to, you know, to talk about why is it I have a new memory? Right. Yeah, you have no answers. And talk about completion, finding a sense of completion. Girl. Coding, yeah, but there's still like an outcome. Like, so you're writing something and you're like, oh, this doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Oh, because this piece of coding isn't right. Let's fix this. And oh, suddenly the program works. You don't have that in philosophy. Doesn't exist. Because as soon as someone tries to prove you right, you go, well, we're just all brains in a vat anyway. And you go into a whole different argument. Makuza, am I in a relationship? No. No, I'm single. So make of that what you will. But yeah, philosophy, it's really tough. Mind-blowingly good, but mind-blowingly tough. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes and then I'm going to wrap this up. So any last questions, hit me up now. Yeah, so in 5 minutes, we'll because I need some dinner. Oh, there's an Italian that's single. Guys, Just saying, there's a single Italian, go for it. Italians are amazing, very passionate. Why did I delete all my previous videos? Because I felt my channel was going in a very, 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 very new direction. And I thought the older videos would be a distraction from the direction I wanted to go in. That being said, a few of them may make a reappearance at some point. I've still got them, so they might be re-uploaded. But for now, I want to kind of just refocus on what my channel is now becoming. Which again, I thought I had a very clear vision for it, but actually I'm not sure if it's as clear cut as I thought it would be. Since being back, I've sort of felt a different energy to what I thought I would feel. So I'm intrigued. Actually, here's a question before we go. What kind of videos would you like to see of me if we're not doing underwear reviews? Because I have all these ideas, as I showed you earlier on my phone. I have tons and tons and tons of ideas, and I want them to be like fitness and style and philosophy related. But is there anything that you would expect me to see, or to expect to see from me? And what would you like to see from me? I would love to know your input, because you guys are the real stars here. I'm liking the fitness and yoga stuff you've been doing lately, very useful. Oh, that's good, good. Loving the new direction. At the same time, I did like the reviews for references to what to buy. See, I'm not against doing clothing reviews. I'd love to expand it more into clothing in general. I'm happy to do like underwear stuff on Instagram. I would, because I used to work with a lot of companies as well, and that's something I actually sacrificed by taking a break from YouTube, was the amount of stuff I was getting from companies. I would be happy to do that on Instagram. YouTube, I'm a bit, I don't know, I don't feel it's right. More videos about nutrition, so things like recipes, or like, what, you know, why is this food good? I have an interesting book somewhere about superfoods. We could talk about that maybe, or maybe ways to use it. I'm gonna write that down. Tom, you're a genius. Let me write that down, because I've got all my list of things: style, fitness. Let me write down. In fact, it's more under style, isn't it? Superfoods. I'm not texting, I'm writing in my notes. Superfoods, how to use certain items, why are they good, etc. Style would be nice to see, and of course some lifestyle philosophy is nice to read. Yeah, lifestyle philosophy. I was considering calling the channel Lifestyle and Lifestyle, because that's kind of really what it is. Studied philosophy and logic one semester back to back. My brain got scrambled. I wasn't allowed to do logic. I wanted to do logic, and none of the lecturers majored in it. So there was no logic option, which was a real shame. I really wanted to do logic. Videos about places to visit in the UK. Interesting. I think it'd be cool. Would you expect me to go to those places and then showcase it? Because I haven't really traveled very extensively in the UK, but I could do like a, I hear this is great because. I think it'd be cool if you did like exercise Thursday, maybe art and chat Mondays if you have the time. Yeah, so I'm interested in doing like live stream classes. I'm assuming there's a lot of Americans and sort of, you know, the Americas. I know on my YouTube channel it's predominantly American, so I could do like live classes of an evening, potentially, if you wanted something live. But I, you know, I want to bring an element of fitness. I'd love to bring an element of style. I'm not the most fashionable person. I tend to be very plain with what I wear, but I like to think it's nice. I don't spend a lot of money on clothing. I used to, but then I took a big pay cut with my new job, so I haven't quite built back up to the point where I can start splurging on outfits. That's probably how my wardrobe's become kind of neutral through necessity. But I like to think I can make simple work. I tend to use very muted colors, mottled colors, and I can reuse the same garments for different purposes. Do I like reading? I used to. Since I did philosophy, I can't read very well anymore. In the sense of, I'll read an article, a newspaper article, and I'll read, informational stuff. I'll blast through it. But fiction, I struggle now because my mind philosophically goes off on a tangent, and I just can't finish the book. So I do listen to books. I do like, the equivalent of Audible. I don't pay for Audible. I find a book on YouTube and I listen to it. But yeah, my job, Marcus, I am a personal trainer. Because that was even something I was considering, was doing like online training. If YouTube got a bit bigger, I could offer online distance training. So lots of things that the channel's going in, like new directions and stuff. I had a very clear idea, but now I'm a bit like, oh, is my demographic gonna feel that vibe? I don't know. So I just need to upload a few more bits and then we'll go from there, I suppose. I think it's been 5 minutes, so I think I need to wrap this up. Do you guys check Facebook? Do you guys check YouTube enough that if I just went live, you would notice? Or would you want me to like throw it out on Instagram in advance or something? Trainer in a gym. Yes, exactly, Marcus. Yes, I train in the gym. I train people in a gym, but I also do classes. So I also teach like dance classes and aqua and yoga and stretching classes and circuit training and HIIT training, boxing circuits, loads of stuff. You have notifications. That's a good idea. If you guys turn on notifications, that will let you know, because I do tend to be a bit sporadic with my timekeeping. I usually, but at the moment, it might be nice to have regular weekly videos. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind doing this fairly regularly. I want to film more videos, but I'm finding it tricky to keep motivated in that. In the sense of setting up the camera, I think there's still an element in my mind of me being a little bit gun shy. I'm a bit nervous of it not being received very well. So I sort of, in my head, I'm like, well, if I don't upload it, then, if I don't film anything, then there's nothing to upload, then I can't be, I can't have my dreams spoiled or something. So I just need to get over that. But that's something that I have planned for tomorrow, is a couple of videos to film. I want to do a video on why I stopped doing the Kiki. I know we addressed a bit of it here, but I wanted to really go into it. And there was another one that I can't remember. I wrote it down. Can't remember it now. I enjoy your enthusiasm and commitment to your studies. Go with your gut and heart. Don't worry about us. Well, I do worry about you guys, because there's 13,000 of you, and I'm really proud of that. And I'm proud of the little following that I have. And I want to expand that. My goal, I'll be honest with you guys, my goal is to hit 100,000. I'd love to hit 100,000 and to have like this sort of family of subscribers. And it's very difficult to look at yourself from the outside. When my friends are doing their own business, like I've got drag friends, I've got friends who are self-employed, I've got friends who do this, and a lot of them, without trying to sound pretentious, a lot of them do come back to me for advice, because they know that I can see them kind of objectively, and I'm like, why don't you think about doing this, this, and this? And they're like, I would never have thought of that. And I've helped, one of my friends had literally given up on his career, like literally completely given up on his career. He had a huge social media following. He had about 30,000 people, and he was like, I'm getting nowhere. And he deactivated it. He completely deactivated it. And he was like, I'm done. I'm getting nowhere. His dream of what he wanted to do without getting into it, he wasn't achieving. He was achieving the next best thing. He was achieving something that was running parallel, and quite frankly, I thought had more scope, more potential, and he wasn't seeing it. And he cut off all his social media and he gave up. And we talked, and I messaged him. And I've done this for a few people, and I told him, why don't you try this, do this, this. And he reactivated, and his career has skyrocketed. Now, I'm not saying that's entirely because of me, but just that kind of thing, I can't do to myself, but I can do to others. So when Moonshine, you say go with your gut, I just want to be able to look at myself objectively and go, how do people perceive him? And what should he be doing to build this family of subscribers, to kind of, you know, build up my YouTube channel? Because I do have a lot of things at my disposal. I'm not a one-trick pony. But I feel like on YouTube, you need to have some kind of like focus, which was the issue I was having with my previous channel. Was it was kind of like, what is this? What is it? There's some drag race stuff. There's some underwear stuff. There's some vlogging stuff. There's some Disneyland stuff. Like, what is this channel? And it didn't have a focus, and even I was getting confused. So I would need to. I want to be able to look at myself objectively and be like, what is it that Chris can bring to the table? And then use that, because as Rue always says on Drag Race, know yourself and just be that 100% of the time. I know that myself is kind of erratic. I know a little bit about a lot. I love politics. I love talking like this. I love conversations. I love fitness. I love yoga. I love dancing. I love, you know, style. I love all that kind of stuff. But there's not one thing that I dedicate my life to. And I think the only thing is just like the sense of balance, having balance in my life. I try and have as much balance as possible, but I don't know. You know, I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef, but I can cook some things. You know, I'm a personal trainer, but it's not the only thing that I talk about is the gym. You know, I do yoga, I teach yoga, but I'm not super spiritual. It's like I do a level of everything, but I don't go to that 100% point because I like to have a little bit of everything. And maybe that's just what people would expect. Oh my God, I'm rambling. I'm turning into Blair. Not Tony Blair, Blair Fowler. But she just doesn't stop talking. But I feel like that's one of my strongest suits, is that I can pretty much talk about anything. Sorry, that was a lot of I've just thrown at you all at once. I check YouTube and Twitter more. To be honest, I post on YouTube way more than I post on Twitter. I hate Twitter. Such a cesspit now. People follow, I need some advance to know when you're up. Okay, I use YouTube and Facebook. I am looking at restarting my Facebook page. So or either repurposing my old one, because I had an old one which I never posted to, or creating an entirely new one, which I'm more tempted to do. I don't know yet. So yeah, there could be some stuff on Facebook, and I think that could be a really good way to go forward, is opening up Facebook channels. I will let you know if that does. I just need to sort of, I want to iron it out. I'll be honest with you guys. I kind of want to keep my real life, my real profile separate from my YouTube one. Just because of business. My inherent nature of my business is really personal. So I kind of need to keep the two separate for now. So I would need to make sure that they're not necessarily linked. You know, I'd need to make sure that I'm getting messages from, you know, like personal training clients, etc. Quarantine lookbooks, interesting. I mean, I was working out yesterday in a tiger onesie, so I'm not really, probably not the best one. It's great you have that ambition. Thank you. Well, I like to think I'm very ambitious. You know, my goal is 100,000 subscribers. That's what I was aiming for before I stopped doing YouTube. And I stopped because of my job. I had to. So now that I'm back, I'm like, right, let's get to 100,000. I want to get to that point with something worthwhile. I don't want to, you know, have to say, oh, I got there through shock videos or, you know, clickbait videos. Do you remember when clickbait videos were a thing? I mean, they still are, but back in the day. So kind, that's very nice. It's all right to learn as you go. If your heart is in it, it will connect. You're very right, Moonshine. If my heart is in it, it will connect. And my heart is in this, but my head sometimes tells me, you know, what if they don't like you? Maybe, you know, self-sabotage, that kind of thing. So I'll get over it. I will get over it. Is this a new channel? What happened to your older vids? Long story short, new direction. I took on a new job and I stopped posting for a while, which annoyed me because I liked posting and I still do. But so if you post on Facebook when you were live in a theme, that would be helpful. Start a page that's just your videos. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to restart, or I could repurpose my old one because I have a lot of followers already on that one. But it just depends if it's possible to find my channel or my existing page, my existing persona through it. I just kind of want to keep them separated. But if that is the case, then that's fine. I just put it this way. Not that I'm thinking that it's going to happen, but just in case, there's 13,000 people. If they all suddenly found my Facebook page, my personal one, then it'd be like, oh my God, like I can't, because that's for my friends. That's for people I know. And I don't want to sort of get into a situation where I'm adding loads of people or having loads of people follow me. But I'm like, that's my personal life. That's what I do with my friends. I don't want to drag them into it. This is something different. Do I follow the Kilted Coaches? I don't follow them, but I know of them. I think one of them's Finlay. I think I follow him on Instagram, Finlay01801 or whatever his name is. Yeah, I follow him. They're like proper. Oh no, the Kilted Coaches, the ones that work out, not the yoga ones, the ones that work out. I've seen them. I don't follow them though. I would like a kilt. I'm part Scottish, so there is a tartan that I could have. But there we go. I think I'm going to wrap this up here because I've been live for an hour and a half, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought maybe 20 minutes. If I'm really honest, I didn't think anyone would turn up. So the fact that I've had a constant stream of people, like 10 or 11 people constantly for this whole hour and a half, I'm very happy with. So thank you so much for coming along. I really appreciate it. I really do, because I know that I just went live. I didn't post about it. I didn't tell anyone in advance. I've just gone live and you guys came along. And for me, I've had a lovely time. I've really enjoyed talking to you. It's certainly broken up what would otherwise have been a relatively boring Saturday night because of isolation. So you're in a kilt now. Oh, wow. Hello. It's been such lovely comments. Thank you. I really enjoyed this. This has been lovely, actually. This has felt much better than I thought it would. I thought it would be nice, and actually I feel like I've had some human interaction because I live alone. So it's a bit tricky to kind of have any good conversation. I mean, apart from the wall, but to be honest, you get more sense out of the wall than you do me most of the time. I'm happy to do this again real soon, just to have a little chat, sit back, chill out, that kind of thing. I love getting your opinions, your feedback, so thank you. I really appreciate your kind words about the direction my channel's going in. I know that it's a bit of a shock for some people. I've had a little bit of negativity from it, but it is what it is. I feel right in my conviction that I'm going in a new channel. I need to sort of tweak. I might change the name. I know, I can't. The problem is, I kind of like Chris Thomas now, but if I say it quickly, it sounds like Christmas. And as well, there's no Instagram name that I can get that's Chris Thomas related. So I'm a bit torn about what to do. Don't ever think there's never been anyone like you, and there never will be. You are that special as a person. Oh, thank you so much. You are far too kind. Far too kind. Maybe this would be my channel. Maybe live streaming conversations is my channel's future. And we just have a 10,000 people conversation down the line. Obviously not next week, because I don't think 10,000 people are going to arrive. But that could be fun. That would be really fun. Can you imagine? Christophe, potentially, but then everyone would think I'm French, and they'd be like, why are you calling yourself Christophe? You're not French. I was tempted to call myself Christophe, like OFF, like in Frozen, because I look a little bit like a Viking. Like, I could be Nordic. If I said to you I was Swedish, you'd probably believe me. But thank you, Jay. Thank you. But then I just, I don't know. Christophe Thomas, it just sounds a bit awkward. So yeah, I don't know, but we can play with it. There might be another name change coming, but oh well. Me is evolving. The name is evolving. The hair does help. Yeah, without it, oh my God, without it, I'm like, look, Can you imagine me with short hair? I'm tempted to shave all this off, because why not? But then I'd probably look like a woman. No, that's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. But I'm trying to look. I get confused for women all the damn time. I don't need to give anyone any more excuse. Toma, yes, it's silent. Maybe you look either great either way, short or long. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this. Any opinions, thoughts of direction, videos you want to see? Let me know. Instagram, whatever, at Christopher Thomas _. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up there. Get some. I don't even know what I'm gonna have for dinner. What am I gonna have for dinner? Don't know. 16 years of long hair. Wow. This is about 3 or 4. This was all accidental. We'll talk about that next time. But this was an accident. So yeah, thank you so much for coming along. I really, really appreciate it. This has been wonderful. I've really enjoyed this. Oh my God, I'm just like so chilled out. I hope you have too. And let me know. Yeah, just stay safe, guys. Be good. Keep out of trouble. Stay safe, because these times are weird, unprecedented, and I hope that we can all get back to a sense of normality real soon. If not, you know, I might be after one of you for a green card or something. Let's go traveling. Have a wonderful Easter. Tell your mum I said hello. God bless. Thank you. Have a good Easter, everybody, if you celebrate it. If you don't, enjoy your day. I'll try and post next time on Instagram and on YouTube when I'm going to go live, but it'll probably be of an evening. I can't imagine me doing this first thing in the morning, because I think everyone's going to be in bed still. So yeah, have a great one. Have a good evening. Be good. Keep out of trouble. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Oh, I don't want to press the end stream button. But thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot. So I will see you guys soon. Come up with some good questions for me next time, because that can be how we kick everything off. The new direction of just conversation. You know, ask me whatever. Come up with a question and ask me next time. Right. See you later. Bye.